It is 50 years since Abba's Eurovision victory. And that was right here in the Brighton Dome back in 1974.
Yes, the relatively unknown Swedish band at the time performed Waterloo in front of 10 judges, and they won that night with 24 votes.
Well, since then, of course, they went on to superstardom with tunes that actually do not go out of date.
Ever.
They just don't go out of date. As well as the musicals, themed restaurants, and, of course, ABBA Voyage, which is still ongoing now, that hologram concert, which you say is phenomenal.
Phenomenal. Honestly, go. If you get a chance, go. You must take your mother.
Yeah. Well, mention Bucks Fizz, those iconic wins in 1981. So who better to talk to than Cheryl Baker? Good morning, Cheryl.
Good morning. I love the idea of a museum.
Yeah. So you should. So you should. When you think back to 1981, I mean, obviously the ABBA victory then wasn't all that long ago, 9 years earlier. Do you think they had a huge influence then on the sort of direction that Eurovision was taking?
Yeah, they did. They changed it completely. Because up to then, it had all been very staid and a bit posh, long frock, sticky bow ties, you know. And then they came along and they blew it out of the water. They looked so different. And they modernised it. And I think, it made a big change. Made a big change after that.
And we were watching your performance on Eurovision a little bit earlier on of making your mind up. I mean, you had so much fun, didn't you, up on that stage? Were you, in some part, inspired by ABBA?
Yes, I would say so. ABBA was 74. I turned professional in 75 and did my first song for Europe, which was, when they choose the British song to go forward. I did my first one in February 1976. So, it was only months after ABBA's performance that I started my own Eurovision journey. They just changed the face of it. They changed the face of Eurovision. And if you look at what Eurovision is now, I think that all started with ABBA's performance. It made people think this is much more than just a song contest. It's all about the look. I mean, the clothes, because they looked fantastic. And even the composer, or not the composer, what's he called? The conductor. He was dressed as Napoleon. It made it fun. Fantastic song, obviously. Brilliant singing. But the whole look of it just changed the way that Eurovision is. And to this day.
The one thing that always strikes me about ABBA is this remarkable thing that very few bands have actually ever achieved, which is the music doesn't seem to age. I don't know how they've done that. I don't know what Benny and Bjorn did to make that work, but it seems as relevant and as sort of current now as it's ever been.
But they reinvented themselves. I mean, Bjorn and Benny are so clever. And Mamma Mia the musical, it's been going 25 years.
Wow.
25 years in the West End. So, yes, they did the musical. And then, wow, there's a movie. And now, wow, there's Voyage, which I haven't been to either yet, so we'll have to go together. But, they're being very, very smart and reinventing and bringing in a new audience. And if you ask anybody, if you ask a 3-year-old, what's your favourite ABBA song, they'll know because everybody knows ABBA. And it's a phenomenon. It really is.
Yeah. I mean, they're fantastic business people as well. We know about the themed restaurants. We know about the hologram show, the West End show, as you say. They've made fantastic money over the time as well. It is their 50th anniversary today. How do you think they will mark it? Because they've said they don't have anything planned, but I'm not sure I believe them. It's ABBA. They've always got something up their sleeve. That's
true. That is true. I wouldn't be surprised if they turned up at the Eurovision this year, because it's in Sweden. It's the 7th win, which means they are equal with Ireland as the most wins in Eurovision. And, of course, it's their 50th anniversary. So wouldn't it be amazing if they walked on stage? I mean, the whole world would erupt. It would be wonderful.
Oh, heck, it would be. It would. It really would be to see them all together. I wonder when you look back, it's looking back at what you've done over the years, because what strikes me, it always strikes me about Eurovision, is we laugh about it. We always laugh about it. Good old Terry Wogan used to take the mickey every single year. Graham Norton does the same thing. We laugh about it, but we love it. And it does launch people into these huge bits of stardom. I mean, look at yourself and Bucks Fizz. You know, here we are 43 years on from that victory. And, you know, we still talk to you. We still care what you think. Cheryl Baker's a household name. And it's all down to that, really, isn't it? At least to begin with.
Absolutely. It's down to 4 points. We won by 4 points. And Velcro, you know. I mean, without Velcro, I'm not sure we would have won. You'd have been talking to Lena from Germany now. But, yeah, that 3 minutes on stage changed our lives completely. You know, I wouldn't be married to my husband. I wouldn't have the children that I've got. I wouldn't have had my TV career. I'm still singing. We did a gig last night. We've got a gig at the forthcoming weekend. I still ripped my skirt off. You know, we have to be called the Fizz now, but we've got a fantastic gig coming up at the Indigo at the O2. That's on June the 28th. So get your tickets. But, you know, we're still out there gigging 43 years later because of 3 minutes in the Eurovision Song Contest in Dublin in 1981.
Fantastic, Cheryl. It's really good to see you.
Thank you.
I was just thinking about, because I remember I was only 7 at the time when all that happened.
Yeah, me
but I remember
too.
the shock, and isn't it weird looking back on it now? But the shock of the skirts coming off. I mean, it was just like, I suppose you wouldn't bat an eyelid now, would you? But at the time, it was so daring.
I know, and who knew, you know, and on the perfect line in that song, if you want to see some more, and the skirts come off, it was perfect. That was the choreographer who said on that line, you know, and it shocked everybody. And because we'd rehearsed it so many times, it didn't shock us. It was just part of the routine, but the reaction that we had was astonishing.
Fantastic, a little bit of magic, really was.
Cheryl, how old were you at the time when you performed it in Eurovision? Did you feel the pressure of the nation behind you, or did you just go on that stage and just think, I'm just going to enjoy myself now? Because you certainly looked that way.
I did, because I did Eurovision once before. I did it in 1978 and became 11th. That was with a band called Coco. And so I expected to lose. I knew what it felt like to lose. And the first time it was really horrible. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to enjoy myself. And I did. I mean, it was in Dublin for a start, so the Irish know how to have a party. But but I just thought, just enjoy yourself, have a lovely time. Mum and Dad can video it, and then you can go back and be normal again. But fate had other ideas, so here I am talking to you.
We're very glad fate had other ideas. Cheryl, really good to see you this morning.